This is Cardboard City. You can't see very well. This is part of my house, the tower. This is another tower. This is a wall. Jackie, it's Cardboard City. Ah. This is our castle. It's pretty hard to see. Oh, I love to let it go. Okay, Jackie, I have to admit, this is going to be a tough video to do because I'm just holding my camera in front of my face and it's like 12:30ish at night and I'm getting up at 7:20 and this is already a late video and I didn't write you a letter last week, so I have to do it. Like, I have to do it right now. I'm sorry. Okay, so Cardboard City probably wasn't as exciting as you were thinking it would be because it was really dark and my camera doesn't give off a light unless it's flashing and it can't flash while you're taking a video. But I can tell you about the night. But first I'm going to make sure that this isn't like too close to my face or anything. So you have to... That was after the jump cut. Yeah, so it's after the jump cut. And it was a little bit too close to my face, but I can't really hold it any further away, so sorry. So Cardboard City. Cardboard City basically is sponsored by Habitat for Humanity, and the idea is to raise awareness for homelessness. They do it in October on purpose because it's getting chilly out here. You want to experience, like, they know it's not going to be completely accurate, and they actually sent out an email because it's like, pizza, ice cream, games, fun, and then it's like, think about homelessness, and they're like, okay, we know this isn't an accurate representation of homelessness, but you should, like, it's something to think about, and it's a way to think about it. So I thought it was pretty cool, and everybody else thought it was pretty cool. So there was me and 7 other people. Some of them were from my floor, and some of them were friends of people on my floor. I'd met everyone before. It was nice. And so there are 8 people on my team that are doing this house. So we called it Catch a Castle. You can see the pictures online. It's pretty boss. We took like a crap load of Chiquita banana boxes and made towers, like 4 towers, and then we had cardboard down on the ground for the floor. And then the walls were really the hard part. Like, yeah, you had to find big-ish boxes because the small ones aren't really going to cut it, and you can't put too many straight up like that before they just collapse over. Plus, there was a really, really limited amount of duct tape. They gave each team, each like house, 1 roll of duct tape, and then we were left to our own devices. So, like, we used up my roll of duct tape that was in my closet. We used up pretty much my entire floor. Any duct tape that was on my floor is now not on my floor because we used it. And we used a bunch of my RA's painter's tape, and we used a lot of my mail tape, which is really flimsy if you've ever used mail tape. Yeah. So it was interesting. Okay, so there are 8 of us. So we make a house that's big enough for 8 people to sleep in. And then I'm skipping a lot of stuff. I'm skipping, like, we had scavenger hunts that you can see pictures of, which was basically, like, a couple people knew what was going on and they were getting the clues, and everybody else on my team, because there were like 20 people per team, were just like sprinting all over campus after them to keep up. It was fun. Anyway, lots of exercise. Okay, so there are 8 people that we built this house for 8 people. 8 of us building it. And we spent a lot of time like decorating things too. Like, we had dry ice. I don't know how that happened, and a couple people went out and got glow sticks, which we then, like, you know, cut open and put all over the walls. And somebody cut out the words Catch a Castle, and we had it like as a signpost between 2 of our towers. It was really cool looking. The problem was, there's 2 problems. Firstly, we didn't have a roof, which is like really essential apparently. Yeah. So when the judges came, they were like, I don't have a roof. It's gonna be pretty hard to sleep out here. It's gonna be pretty cold. And then the other problem, which is what I've been getting to, is, okay, 8 people building a house, right? We're building a house that's big enough for 8 people, and we're gonna be sleeping in the cold without a roof. And then 6 of the people don't stay outside. I know 2 of the girls, definitely for sure, were thinking about it while they were building, but the rest of them just like, they were never going to stay outside, I don't think. They were just like, they wanted to build a house, which is fine. But then why did we build a house that was big enough for 8 people? So, okay, we have this house that's big enough for 8 people with no roof, and it's cold. So me and the other girl, there was only one other girl who stayed out, we go back in to bundle up. I check the dashboard on my Mac. It's 48 degrees out. So I have like, okay, I had like my highest socks on, and then I didn't bring my knee socks, but high socks, and then I had 2 pairs of slipper socks, and I had my rain boots on, because I figured before I'd had my tennis shoes on, and that was pretty chilly. And then I had 2 pairs of pajama pants, one of them was fleece, and then my sweatpants over that. And I had like a cami, and 2 long sleeve shirts, and a sweatshirt, and then my North Face. Yeah. And I had a scarf on. I don't have gloves with me at school, and neither did Molly, the girl who stayed out with me. So, okay, so we go back, we meet back up, and we're like, okay, what are we going to do with this house? This house is built for 8 people, and there are 2 of us, and there's no roof on it, we're going to freeze. So, we take, it's hard to describe, and I would do hand motions except my hands are holding the camera. So we move, like, there are 3 full walls, because the front of it didn't really have a wall. So we take one of the full walls, and we move it so that instead of being an open square, it's like a triangle, so that we were sleeping in the little triangle. One of the walls was really stable because we taped it to the tree. It's like a big tree. And then the other 2 were not stable. And once we moved that wall to make it smaller, so that we could like keep the warmth in and everything and not just be sleeping on a pad of cardboard boxes, once we moved that, it wasn't duct taped to the floor at all because we didn't have any more duct tape. So we knew that wasn't going to be good. And then I brought out this tapestry that I just bought from these hippie people that were in the Bush Student Center. And I brought my tapestry out, and we used that for like this makeshift roof, which was really awesome. I mean, it wasn't actually like extremely effective, but I thought it was awesome that like I got to use that for something legit. So we taped that up with painter's tape, which we knew wasn't going to hold. We're like, okay, this is going to fall. And we knew it would. Oh, we did other things too. We moved the towers around so that they were supporting the wall that we had moved, and then we took all the extra cardboard that was like on the outside of our triangle that would have been in the square before, but now is on the outside of the triangle. We put that inside on the floor so that we had more than one layer of cardboard below us, which was good because when we got up in the morning, the bottom layer was completely like really damp, like wet damp. So that was good. So we have this triangle covered by this flimsy tapestry, taped up with painter's tape, and that was where we slept. I had a sheet set, like a bottom sheet and a top sheet, and then I had my fleece penguin blanket, you know how big that is, small, and that was all. And she had, oh no, and I brought out a towel too, my beach towel, like to lay below us, and then she brought out a thing to lay below us too, and then she had a blanket to go over her that was like big and fleecy and stuff, and that was what we slept on. It was, like, people were like, oh, is it fun? It wasn't fun, but, it was worth it. It was really interesting, and we woke up a lot during the night, never at the same time really, but like I was thinking about homeless people, and it was cool. Like, it wasn't cool, it wasn't fun, it wasn't cool, it was worth it, and it was like a good experience, a good thing to do. Yeah, very introspective thing. And our fort definitely collapsed during the night. Like, it's just like steadily going down. Let me think about things that happened. Oh, the first time I woke up was when part of the tapestry fell, and it was like, it was over her, and we agreed before we went to sleep that if like the fort fell, we weren't gonna try to put it back up, because like we knew it was gonna fall, and we were like, we don't want to spend the whole night trying to keep this up when we know it's gonna fall. I want to get some sleep. So we were like, okay. But part of the tapestry over her fell, and I felt really bad because I was like, this is my tapestry, I want it to be a good roof. So I tried to tape it back up. It didn't work at all, so I just went back to sleep. I was like, I hope she's okay, and I went back to sleep. I was so tired. and that was fine. And woke up a couple more times because I was cold. Like, it wasn't like I was, like, my whole body was cold. It was like my butt would be cold, or like part of my leg would be cold, because I literally had a sheet over my legs, which is because my fleece blanket isn't that big to cover my whole body, which is less than I usually sleep with, like inside, when it's like 73 in my room. So it was pretty chilly. I don't know, it was interesting. I kept my hands warm, so when my feet got cold, I would just stick my hand into my slipper socks and like warm my feet up. So that was good. I was really glad that my hands didn't get cold. I was good about keeping them warm. And then, alright, so we wake up a bunch of times during the night. I think they're progressively falling. We're getting cold. And like, whenever you shift around, you'll lose some of the warmth in your blanket, and there'll be a gap, and it'll be cold, and whatever. Okay, so we wake up in the morning. I woke up first, at like 7:15ish. We went to bed at like 1:30, and I woke up at like 7:15 because I was really cold. And I discovered that the whole fort has basically collapsed during the night. The wall that was sturdy, that was against the tree, it was by our heads, and that was up. And the wall that we had moved, that was by like my feet, her side, we were laying like perpendicular to each other, that was like collapsed in on us. So like literally I couldn't curl into a ball because I was too tall vertically. Yeah, it was pretty cramped. And it was pretty cramped by me, but by her, she had like no roof at all. She was just like laying on cardboard. And then like, it had been a closed triangle, basically. We had closed it up, but because like the towers had fallen, it was just a big like gap next to me. Like to my side was completely open. Like there was no protection from the wind. That was where the wind was coming from. There was no protection from the wind or anything. She didn't have any roof at all. I had some of the tapestry still over me as well, which was really nice. So then we got up, and the people in our group were planning to, they had told us the night before that they were going to help us clean up, but they didn't. They didn't like ditch us exactly. They were just sleeping, and I thought that they would get up, but they didn't. I think the girl across the hall from me, just like her phone didn't wake her up because she was exhausted, which is like whatever. We weren't really angry. We were just like, you bailed on us once, and there you go, bailing on us again. So we clean up outside, which took like 30 minutes, 45 minutes. And then I go in at 8 o'clock, and I check right away. I check the dashboard from the temperature. It was 42 degrees out at 8 o'clock, which means, and the sun had been up because I had been waking up. The sun had been up for a while, not like a long while. Yeah, so it was definitely, I was definitely sleeping in a cardboard box that was falling apart in 30-degree weather with one other girl. Oh my gosh, I feel so legit. It was really cool. Yeah, it was really cool. Yeah, I was about to say you should do it, but I think if it at all interests you, you should think about it, because it was a good experience, and like, very interesting and very worth it. Yeah, so Cardboard City, what?